viewers, this is Suresh Rajanayar, kickstarting this season 2 of the CA Nation Pod Talk, episode number 1, with a very fine, prolific presenter, Suhaas Vedham. So he has been into various sporting events all over the world. So we caught up and then we took his time and then he is there with us, Suhas. Welcome, Suhas, on board.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Suresh.
Right.
Absolute pleasure to be talking to you. And of
So
course,
nice. Same here.
thanks to Chayan who made this happen. C Nation Pod Talk. Happy to be here.
Same here. Right. Tell me, Suhas, this is, the bug when it bit you to presenting. Bug? Yeah. Presenting bug. When it, talking bug. Or you have anybody in your family? Anybody in your family who is there already, you followed them or ideals, or just you wanted to talk to people?
My grand, if you put it that way, credit goes to my grandmother, because she was big on storytelling.
Okay.
And those monsters that she made up to make sure that I sleep on time, and all those stories, that's where the bug bit me. Perhaps that instilled me a love for storytelling.
So you're a grandma's boy. Right. So then how did you you developed passion afterwards? First you started liking. So you must have seen somebody and then, I want to go in this, or any other professions you had in front of you when you started. So why you chose this one?
Yeah. So firstly, of course, grandma instilled the love of storytelling in me, and that sort of became a sapling later on when I got the opportunities to be on stage. Having said that, I did economics honors in my BA. I loved economics. She didn't love me back enough. Then I shifted to mass comm and did my MA in mass communication from Jamia Millia Islamia. That taught me the world behind the camera, and it sort of equipped me to be better in front of it if and when I get that opportunity. And I started with bank matches, Karnataka Bank playing, say, Punjab National Bank, and you yourself are in Mira Road. So if you look outside any Maidan, you would know that a couple of banks would be playing high intensity games. And they had a commentary setup. Karnataka Bank was playing another branch of it at that time, and they had a commentary setup. So I requested, can I be a commentator for you? Because I was there. They gave me a little sheet of paper that said from over 6 to over 9. And that became my first roster of my life. So that's the way it started. That was my very first gig, if you will.
Right. But when you picked up this, talking to this one on the mic or whatever, was it how was it? It is a spontaneous one, or there was some resistance from your close family?
I was lucky enough that I found support, and I still do, in family. When I first did my commentary, as I told you, as someone for Karnataka Bank, I was getting a lot of support from my dad, who listened to it and said, "Come on, you can do something with this, And at that time, of course, ICC was far-fetched. But of course, that was something that gave me the confidence to keep going. So I found support in my family.
Correct. That's correct. So then you started from that Karnataka Bank or something like that. Then you went on to not only in the country, but you went to global also. You must have rubbed shoulders with so many greats.
Yes, everything starts small, as you know, Suresh. And so after the bank matches, you could say that I graduated to college cricket.
Yeah.
Did a bit of school cricket in between. So once you do university games, that becomes a great breeding ground for you as a commentator as well, to identify talent that can go ahead and play in state, etc. So that sort of allowed me those stories, and I learned a lot about how the game happens at different levels. The international level is very different from a state level tournament. The state level tournament is very different from a university level also. But it allowed me to appreciate that every level has its own essence. And the more I traveled, I understood the cricket culture of the country, which, as you're very aware, Suresh, as someone who dabbles in so many languages, a polyglot that you are, it changes is every 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers.
Right.
Haryana is very different from suddenly Chandigarh. Chandigarh is very different from Delhi in terms of the language sometimes, in terms of the food, in terms of the attire. It's the same thing with the cricket culture. The way cricket is played in Mumbai is very different from a Hyderabadi boy playing the same ball, you know.
Oh,
And of course, compared to Chennai or compared to Gujarat. So that cricket culture is something that I started to imbibe and understand, and that sort of helped me lay the base when I went global as well, because I was able to understand India cricket a little better.
correct. So basically, you are from Hyderabad.
No, I'm from Chennai. I was born in
Chennai.
Tirunelveli.
Okay.
No, I'm from Tirunelveli. You could say I'm born
Chennai.
in Tirunelveli.
So you
After that,
speak Tamil or Telugu at home?
I speak Tamil at home.
Tamil.
And
Okay.
I Hindi with my brother,
Right.
and yeah, we speak English.
No, but how was your experience? Yeah. How was your experience with sharing your mic space? You can say with the stalwarts like Sunny sir and Salman and all those things. Even a couple of I have seen your couple of pictures with all the greats. This Wasim Akram and all those people. What was your feeling at that time when you met those people, and then shared the mic?
Absolutely wonderful, of course. So, Sunny sir, I'm still waiting for a stint together, perhaps, and same with Wasim sir. But Rohan was there; he was absolutely brilliant, and Mike Hazeman was there. We worked in a few tournaments together, Mikey, and yes, of course, the bigger names. It's wonderful to work with them. It's
Right.
easier to work with as well, to be very honest. You might say big names indeed, but the beauty of those wonderful people are they don't make you feel that they are big names and you're
Right.
just somebody walking into a commentary. Absolute professionals, and it's absolutely wonderful to work with them as they make your job easy as well, because they are so well prepared that you can
Yeah.
ask them the right questions and they enhance the broadcast.
They're correct. No, they're all the stalwarts people there. You must have learned something from there. Then you must be having some memorable incident you have spent with those people. Anybody's memory is there, which is etched in your lifetime for life.
We were talking about Mike Hazeman. Mikey and I were commentating in a tournament in the US, and Rakeem Cornwall,
Uh-huh.
giant he is, he hit the ball. It's a brand new cricket ball. He hit the ball and it disappeared out of Florida. And when they eventually decided to get it back, he politely walked to the umpire and said, "Stop trying to get it back. It's okay because the ball is popped." So how do you know? You hit the ball. It's very difficult to know that you popped the ball.
Yeah.
It's impossible for anybody else to know that the ball split into two pieces because they've seen one spear fly by. That's it.
Right.
And he very politely goes to the umpire and says this. And eventually, when they do retrieve the ball, we requested if we can have it in the commentary box. And we did a small piece with a com cam on. Mike Hazeman and I. This is what he did to the cricket ball. It's literally hanging by a thread because it's popped. It's brand new, but it's popped.
All right.
That's something that's very memorable because
Correct,
it's something
correct.
that happens every day. But it's something that I'll remember for a long time. That entire piece was great fun.
Always, memories are always a lifetime. You create memories and then you leave that memory. It's like lifetime, recording for us. Now, as a sports as a sports presenter or sports commentator, have you ever played any sports in your life?
Yes, I played cricket and I play badminton.
Badminton, okay.
I love tennis, but I don't get much opportunity to play tennis these days because of the travel as well. But of course, badminton on a not so windy day, I'd be happy to pick up a
Okay.
racket.
Right. Yeah, because when you want to present the sports, you should be at least knowing the ABC of the sports. Some basics of any sports you want to take or any subject you want to speak to. You should be knowing little bit of like what we say is the know the game, KTG. In our time, we used to get some books. Each and every sport we used to get the books, KTJ, know the game by rules and regulations, whatever is there. When you speak with the great people, those who are great performers, you have to know the basics of the game. So that's very, very, very tough job for you, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So before you enter the sport or that particular gig as well, you do your homework. just about the sport, but also the stakes for that particular game that you're covering. And my role as a lead commentator is to tell the story of how a fan feels that game. So for me, it's important to understand the demographics of where the broadcast is going, to understand how would a fan feel the same emotion and look at it from that lens compared to an expert who would analyze the same moment. So while you do that, you learn a lot across sport. And as Suresh, you very well might be knowing, because you yourself are a chess player at state level, and then you also dabble in cricket. So there's so much that's give and take. There's so much give and take happening across sport.
Correct.
And that sort of prepares you better as an athlete, isn't it? And I love that. I was recently doing a corporate tournament. You would say, what good can come out of a corporate tournament? No, but it's fantastic. The intensity with which they play cricket, and there is a national level basketball player, a netball player, putting on the cricket pads and playing for a team. And the entire team huddle, he's the one speaking more than the captain, because he's able to analyze the moves of the opposition, which is something that he learned from the netball court, and he's applying on a cricket field. It is magical for me. And the way he went about his business, he said, I might not know the nitty-gritties of the game.
Right.
Don't tell me to suddenly go to long off. I might ask you where it is. But if you tell me the body language of the opposition,
right,
there for you. So there's so much give and take happening. And that's making our sport richer. That's making cricket richer. So that is something that I absolutely enjoy. When I cover other sport as well, I try and find out the parallels that can be applied to cricket and vice versa.
Correct. Now, who are your role models actually in the presenter arena? You must be having some role models. No, I want to go like that or be like that, or some styles you pick up from some.
Sunil Gavaskar.
Right.
Yeah. So I've grown up watching Sunil Gavaskar, Ravi Shastri, Alan Wilkins is one of my favorites, Harsha Bhogle. So you admire different people for different reasons.
Correct.
The attention to detail from, say, Harsha, the way emotions are brought to a particular frame. Ravi with his fantastic booming voice. Sunil Gavaskar, sir, with how adept he is at analyzing things. And so Nasir Hussain with the way he reads.
Nasir Hussain is good.
Things that you pick up from different commentators and you're wowed by. And so you could say I don't have one role model, but I have different role models, because that's how many
multi-purpose role models you have. Various characters, various characteristics you pick up from all the people. I if I see you, you resemble the voice and all culture like Suresh Saraiya. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I'm humbled by that, because I've grown up on a large amount of stories.
Time and again, the ball is racing to the boundary line for 4 runs. He's always time and again used to use that phrase. And fantastic. You have also similar voice culture like that, him only. You develop that, maintain that, and then you can be a best presenter in the sports arena. So, do you also only take up the presentation only in the English or any other language you speak?
So I speak 4 languages. I speak Hindi, English, Tamil, and Sanskrit.
Tamil
and Sanskrit.
Sanskrit. Oh dear.
So cricket has allowed me to speak in 3 languages so far. I've done Tamil for Star Sports Tamil. We did the Lanka Premier League. That was fantastic at Palakele. Then I've done in Hindi. We did the UPT20 recently in Hindi, apart from all the other tournaments that I've done. UPT20 was fantastic with Sabha sir and everybody. And English, of course, you've heard me do English around the world. Because when you mostly travel, for the level of cricket that I am doing right now, when we mostly travel, English becomes the language that you do. But I think the day is not far away when you travel and do English, and you're also asked to be in the Hindi commentary box as well, because that will make for a fantastic story in itself.
Yes, fantastic, really fantastic. Know that a very rare personality like you, also fluent in Sanskrit. It's very, very, very rare phenomena in the presenting world. Very rare. I sometimes use some Bhagavad Gita. I sometimes use Bhagavad Gita shloks in my hosting and all. but it's very, very, very rare personality to find in Sanskrit.
Or there's an entire beautiful Sanskrit speaking community out there.
Right.
I'll probably connect you after this call with them. And the way that I learned Sanskrit, if I can digress a little bit, the way I learned Sanskrit was, it took me about 15 days, and it took a lot of sacrifice. Let's just put it this way.
Right.
15 days without any phone, 15 days with no connect with the outer world, of course, no newspapers, you don't know anything. And the place that I went to, there's only one group.
Okay.
Speak poor, speak bad Sanskrit, speak horrible Sanskrit, but speak Sanskrit. Don't speak any other language. So the first 2-3 days you're just miming because you're searching for words, you're searching for different ways of saying the same thing with the limited vocabulary that you have.
Correct.
At the end of 15 days, yes, we washed our dishes and we did everything in the washrooms. But at the end of 15 days, I realized that I was able to get a little drop of the nectar called Sanskrit, and I was able to speak in Sanskrit. So it was totally worth it. But that's the way I was initiated into this beautiful language, and I always wanted to learn an ancient language because it keeps you rooted. It tells you no matter where you go from here, no matter how much you achieve, you have to come back to this one thing. So that's something that I hold very dearly too, and I still am very, very embarrassed when somebody says, "Oh, you speak Sanskrit really well done," because the little that I know is probably.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Little you know, because I believe in this communication, the speaking. This one, if the person is little bit, if you know Sanskrit, his pronunciation will never go wrong.
Very well said, Suresh. That helped me. When you speak Sanskrit, the pronunciation aspect of it helped me when I did matches of, say, Rwanda versus some other team as well, because some teams have very difficult pronunciations. The names of the people have different pronunciations.
Right.
And my time at Jamia Millia Islamia as well, and my wonderful friends, it helped me enhance my Urdu too, and the Urdu pronunciations. They taught me the difference between, say, Thais, that needs to come from the epiglottis. Khan is different. So Khan and Thais are different, right? So
correct.
The names have to be absolutely perfect.
Right.
So you sort of switch to that mode as a commentator when you're doing matches with names of that kind. And of course, when you do African matches of very different standards, sometimes not even televised, but we've done the streams once, then they have clicks in their names, the Hosa. So all these things are very, very helpful because Sanskrit explores almost every aspect of this. So that way I became better prepared as a commentator in terms of pronunciation, Uchcharanam as they call it, or talaffuz in Urdu. So it's a give and take.
No, that's correct.
Give and take. What you learn at one stage will help you in completely different setting.
No, different. Actually, if the language is accentuated, then there is a different meaning to that. If there is an accent 100%. Into that, if you are speaking clearly and plainly, everybody can understand generally. But if there is an accent along with the words and all, that's Hindi, they call it लहजा. लहजा जो होता है वो अलग हो जाता है. भाषा एक ही होती है, लहजा बदल जाता है. So the way you speak tells you from where you are, who you are. Anyway, now coming back to this, Now coming back to this, as a commentator or a presenter, when you are, presenting the game, how impartial one should be, and if you are rooting for one team, and then if that team is not performing well, what is your gut feeling? And how do you present them? Your feelings. Maybe it happens, maybe it not happens.
You present as is, but when we're doing English commentary, we are very, very neutral. At least we try to be. In English commentary, because both the countries are listening to it and the others are too, you have to be very, very neutral. I think it can erode a little bit if you're commentating in, say, Tamil. You can be more India-centric. Hindi, you can be more India-centric. But you can't do that when you're doing English commentary.
Correct.
So that way we are neutral, and when you do a little bit of commentary, then you realize this is how neutral you can be. But despite all that, there'll be people tweeting, texting, saying, I think you shouldn't have said this
Right.
particular thing because I feel you're supporting the other team. There is no other team for us as commentators.
That's
There
correct.
is
As a
no
presenter, one should be
common
very,
team for us.
yeah, one should
There's
be
no
very
other team.
partial, impartial, and neutral. One has to
Yeah.
be. What was your experience, working with Salman Bhatt in Asian Emerging Cup? What do you have any interesting feature in that?
Oh, brilliant. Wonderful to work with Salman. There was Sikandar Bhakt as well. He was fantastic. So, Salman, again, very keen, very sharp. He would have three stories to decode for a particular ball. Now, how do you accommodate three stories for a particular ball in a T20 game?
Right.
So he has a problem of plenty, but that's how sharp he is, his cricketing mind, and he's one step ahead all the time. And the beauty about Salman is he will deliberately try and put himself in the shoes of an emerging team's captain and try and find out why it is, why is he doing that particular move, and try and tell you off camera sometimes that had this been international level, he would have done something different. Because this is the emerging teams, I know how he is thinking and how he is decoding the game.
Correct.
He's doing this particular thing, and अभी देखो ये करेंगे, वैसे ही होगा. He'll say something like, I still remember there's this fast bowler operating. He said, slip रखा नहीं है. पहले दो गेंदों में एक तो थर्ड मैन की ओर आराम से जाएगा, उसके बाद वो स्लिप लाएगा. तो देखना. Similar thing happened. He tried to
Correct.
steer towards third man. It was an outside edge. It eventually did go to third man. The third man was very fine, fantastic stop eventually.
Right.
But the fact that he said that had he identified this opportunity of a wicket early on, the scorecard would have looked very different,
Right.
So he gives you the leverage to make mistakes as well as he understands the level of cricket that's going on. But yeah, very, very sharp. Absolutely fantastic to work with him.
Right. So now, Suhas, if you are at Delhi now, you must have completed a lot of assignments. I know that you will be busy. I mean, any interesting assignment which you are looking at? Yeah, if I get this one, I will be more, or anything you have, satisfied with whatever you have got.
If you would ask me this 2 months ago, my answer would have been different. I would have said very excited with this. That I'm equally excited, but right now I'm happy with what's coming my way. To reach this level, I'm happy to be that way as well. I'm happy with what's coming my way. And one of the most interesting things about my life right now is that you don't know sometimes where next you're going to. And you sort of live with that excitement rather than uncertainty. So that is why I'm happy if I get to do PGT for someone, Seagulls TV. I covered PGT for Seagulls TV last time in Australia. We were, because of COVID, we couldn't travel, so we did the GABA test from here. Otherwise, I would have loved to be there, but we had John there. So yeah, PGT is something that would be fantastic. And apart from that, of course, I'm covering cricket across levels. So not just ICC or ACC, but I'm covering cricket especially across levels. So it keeps me excited to find new talent, to tell new stories. So that way, I'm excited for every assignment that's coming my way.
Right.
Suresh, I'll tell you what. So you've known me as a presenter, as a commentator. So I'm a commentator, I'm a presenter, auctioneer, and a voiceover artist. And I write. So it sort of keeps me busy, and no 2 days are the same.
Right.
So that's an excitement that I live with, because one day I'm wearing the auctioneer's hat, and one day I'm a commentator, one day a voiceover artist. So it keeps me engaged
Right.
and happy that way. There's no monotony.
Right. Good. Then see,
Sorry to
yeah.
cut you off. Sorry. Voiceover artist, I can't reveal much. There is a cricket game that's coming up. It's in the development stage. I receive animated videos without colors. I receive animated videos, and I have to speak on that particular clip. A clip might be a wide delivery, a clip might be a boundary, but the catch is you have to record 3 different lines, 3 different commentary for that clip without a repetition.
Oh.
So that keeps me very creatively engaged. And I've received some 400 clips, and I'm doing this for a company.
Right.
So if there is a boundary being hit, Suresh, and the viewers, just think about it. a boundary being hit through covers, right? So I can say fantastic shot that's gone through covers for four, something like that. So in my second and third recording of the same clip, I can't say fantastic, I can't say short, I can't say covers, I can't say four.
Correct.
So you could something like exquisitely timed, that's a boundary.
Yeah. You can't have a
So imagine
repetitive of
those
words actually. Repetition is sounds very boring, you know. You have to have always a different words for different this one. Same as stroke or same incident. Yeah, that's correct. You can't have the
true.
same
But here,
words.
which boundary line the algorithm will pick up? Boundary line in the sense which commentary the algorithm will pick up for that particular shot when it's played
Correct.
by player one and player two at that time.
Right.
So that way it's crazy. And I love that. It keeps me switching
Yeah,
on
you
all
know,
the time.
once you are, like you should be a polyglot, you should be a word master. Generally, the words will flow automatically. That's correct.
True.
Now, then, tell me one thing. How do you face the criticism? Any criticism you must have had? How do you face it?
One thing I've learned in my little career so far is that criticism is very, very important, but the constructive kind. So if somebody is giving you constructive criticism, you should be all ears, because that's the way to improve. And I feel really glad if someone can give constructive criticism, because they've given their valuable time to tell you to improve yourself in a certain way.
Correct.
And secondly, Suresh, the person we look in the mirror, that person knows that this is something you can improve on. Even though the word would feel, all right, that's fantastic, you did brilliantly, you're happy with that, because that keeps you going. But you also take a dive inside yourself to find out where can I improve. So that's a constant messaging, that's constant message, that's a constant conversation that's going on with yourself.
Your mind.
And after a point of time, you don't analyze during the stints.
Right.
You just be yourself. But once your head hits the pillow at night, at that time, sometimes you can do this.
Correct. Like presenting criticism, you have very well accepted that, express yourself in that. Now, so the point is, when you go to a sporting event or any other, I don't know whether you're doing any other events also you do, or only sporting events you do?
As I said, I do corporate events as well. I did something called the Crypt Talk for corporates, which is learning from sport.
Yeah.
So, right. Yes, the other events are very much on my plate.
Right. Suppose if you are given an assignment of any event, so how do you prepare yourself for that event, and what are the key points? How do you study that? What is your R&D level?
Depends completely on the nature of the event, as you know. Because one day I'm an auctioneer, the other day I'm a quiz master.
Correct.
And the third day I'm a commentator. So even though the crux of all that is to speak and to engage the audience, the nature of the event is very different. So the pacing is very different. For an auction, the pace and the dynamics are completely different from, say, when you're hosting a conference.
Right.
So you prepare yourself accordingly. You get into that particular mood. You learn about the audience you're going to face. That's very important even in cricket.
Very important, yeah.
Depending on, I'm coming back to cricket because it's easier to give you an example in cricket. When you're commentating in Oman, when you're commentating in Qatar, Kuwait, the style of commentary is a little different from when you're commentating in Australia.
Yeah.
Because
that's like, the
audience you're serving is very different. In terms of the cricket intellectual audience that you're serving in Australia, they will ask you, if you say, oh, that's a no ball, it'll be followed by a free hit. It's something where different forms of getting a batter out are suspended.
Right.
They'll say to you, mate, but we already know that. Why do you want to tell us that? Compared to if you're commentating in the US in, say, South Cal, and you say it's a no ball, so it's going to be a free hit. So you can't get the batter out in many different ways that usually you can. Having said that, a run out is always on the cards.
Correct. See, that's
so
so
you have to geographical, a little more.
Yeah, geographic changes, the location changes, the people mindset changes, the philosophy changes, and the style of presentation also. So it has to adapt the conditions available.
Right. So
जैसा रंग वैसा ढंग.
जैसा रंग वैसा ढंग.
जैसा रंग वैसा ढंग.
Really well said. So जब auctioneer बनते हो तो फिर आप उसके हिसाब से the auction, the rhythms of an auction, the chant of an auction, उसके हिसाब से आप prepare करते हो.
Right.
And people also know what to expect. Why does a movie have a teaser,
Right.
a trailer? It tells you what to expect, what kind of movie it's going to be. So
That's
something like that. You prepare yourself accordingly.
Did you find any, because you're a globetrotter, you have gone all over the places, and did you find any barrier in presenting yourself, in communicating, or any kind of barrier or obstacles you face, and how do you recover, or how do you overcome that?
In my job or otherwise?
Anyways, even your
My
job
job,
professionally,
no.
because you are talking about your
Because
profession as
they
a
know what to
presenter.
expect.
As
Yeah,
a
they're very clear. When you're accepting the assignment, they're clear. They want you to commentate in Hindi, English, or Tamil. Mostly it's English, right? When you travel. So in my job, no. But as a vegetarian, when there are certain cricket grounds which are outside the main city and only local cuisine is allowed with only local language speaking people,
Right.
then it can be a game of dumb charades to try and make them understand what you need. So at that point, yes, there's been a couple of instances like that. But having said that, otherwise no. So
That's
people are so loving, and they're kind at heart as well when you meet them.
Yeah.
Right. They're willing to understand, even if they don't. They're willing to understand. So they'll go the extra mile. They have an app that translates.
Yeah,
And
correct.
so it usually helps that way.
That's right.
My experiences have been such. I've never
It's
been
correct.
stuck saying language is a barrier.
That's right. Actually, it should be always a communicable language rather than specific language is there. I believe that when you want to communicate, it should be communicable to him. That's it. To whomsoever it may be, and whatever way you speak, if it is understood by the person, you have done the job.
No, you've done the job. Correct.
You've done the job. That's what you do. Do you pick up some dialects from wherever you go? Like if you are in Arab countries, you must be speaking some Huzur Ala and all those things, Urdu words and Arabic words. Or in English, if you go to US English, they must be having some, what do you call that, slang languages. Or you come down to Indian, various dialects are there. So how do you
hear a lot of them, but you have to know what is broadcast worthy.
Achha, that's
things they can't say on broadcast. No, in Australia they say a lot of things, and bad income is one of them, and so you learn, of course, and it's not like you deliberately try and squeeze it in your commentary to sound more local.
Right.
Anything forced, the audience is very intelligent. They'll find out.
Correct.
So you learn, of course, and it helps you in the longer run as well. It helps you. But there's certain words that you try and say that in the same dialect because they shouldn't lose their essence when you try and put it in an English manner. Like Tamil is Tamil, right? It's not Tamil. In English, it can be Tamil, but it's Tamil. It's just one example. When you're commentating in Oman, that place can be Al Amarat. It's said as Al Amarat.
Right.
You try and keep it as Al Amarat and not Al Amirat. Just because that's the way you can read
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
No, it's a proper noun, but you try and do that, at least I try and do that as a commentator. And yeah, since I try.
These are the like the
so Sri Lanka,
nuances.
Same thing.
The nuances of the local atmosphere or the environment. You have to study, observe, and then watch and learn. Nobody is going to teach you how this works. You have to watch. You have to observe.
Right, Suresh. What do you do when your opponent is not even making a move?
Yeah, I know. In my, I'm saying,
because it might be a word for you, it might be just another word for you, but for them it's something they hold on to. It's something very dear.
Correct.
So you try and be as correct as possible.
Right. That's right.
Alan Wilkins, you mentioned who I get motivated by. Alan Wilkins works really hard on the pronunciation. Sometimes when Alan Wilkins is pronouncing a Sri Lankan name, you would realize he's put in so much effort and he's so correct.
Correct. Right.
So
that's right. Now, tell me one thing about your personal side of your parents, how they are, coping with you, and then you're happy with them, and then you're single so far because you're a very smiling face. Looks like you're single man.
Yeah. So you're telling me You're either married or you're happy, is it? No.
Right.
Yeah, right now, yes. I'm single, and I have a sibling, my younger brother. I grew up with my younger brother in Delhi mostly.
Delhi, yeah.
He works for a corporate in Chennai, and my father's now retired. He was with NCRC,
Right.
Jamia,
Good.
and my mom, of course, she was DGM for a recycling company.
Right. Right.
And
Now,
the people were very, very particular while I was growing up. Suresh, they were very particular that the local language, the mother tongue has to be spoken,
yeah,
while the local language my kids will pick up when they go to school, and English is something that will happen by itself.
that's right. No,
Because
all the South
that's
Indians,
the way it has always been.
South
Somewhere at
Indians,
home,
they have English, it's a very common language.
English you learn in school.
Correct, correct. Now, you are also on the Instagram and social media, but you're also a presenter, physically presenting the things. Is there any difference you find in the social media, which is flourishing up now, and you are, holding the mic and doing on the grounds and all those things? Is there any difference, or do you face any contradiction process in that in between?
Are you asking me what is the difference?
What is the
in way
difference
you
there?
present the same content because the platform changes?
Yeah, that is also one of the aspect of it. Second thing is when the social media is flourishing.
Yeah.
People do come on the social media and then they talk all those things, and you are there physically present. It's like physical and virtual. Is there any contrasting the concept going on, or you still, I still believe it's holding the mic and talking to people. It touches the heart. Social media is virtual.
Right.
When we meet in person, we can be a different platform altogether when we are discussing. But when you're talking on this computer or Zoom or whatever, you see the virtual image of the person.
Correct.
So is there anything which comes into your mind? Social media is flourishing, and then you are into
broadcast and social media is reducing bit by bit.
Right.
The only difference in the way you present content changes depending on the framing and depending on the audience that it's going to reach to eventually. Having said that, a lot of things are similar. That's exactly why a piece of the broadcast commentary works really well even on social media.
Correct.
Because it's succinct, it's to the point, it's within the shrinking attention spans, it's within all that's required. So that's why it's equally working well. Having said that, you can tailor make content for social media also when you understand, okay, this is the framing that's going to be, because Instagram है तो फिर वो portrait में ही जाएगा, आपको फिर ऐसे रखना पड़ेगा, ऐसी बातें करनी पड़ेगी, rather than the luxury that you have when the frame is slightly wider in terms of your actions, and not just that, in terms of what you want to show, the way you want to tell stories as well. So that's the social media bit.
Correct.
What was the next part of the question? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Hello.
What's the next part of your question?
Next part, actually there are two aspects in this one. One is flourishing, and then this is also there. Do you find any contrasting changes in both the presentation styles?
Right. So presentation styles, when you're meeting a person in person, when you're meeting somebody in person and you are not on camera per se, but it's still presenting, right? Absolutely yes. When you're on camera, like we are on camera right now,
right,
the inflection with the way you say the words, and not just that, and the energy that you put in, that is a little different. Camera always takes plus 25% of your energy.
Correct. That's true.
Whereas when you're speaking to somebody in person, you might not need that. You might not need that projection. So right. For camera, you could say that there is a little bit of acting involved.
You have to
make sure that it's only a little bit.
Correct.
You lose your authentic self. So that is there, but it's also there for the medium. The medium demands it.
Right.
Like certain actors would tell you, camera makes you look a little healthier. Similarly, for camera, as somebody who works with voice, I would say you need to project a little more when you're on camera and the microphones are capturing you compared to the person being right in front of you.
Right.
That's the only change. Otherwise, you could be yourself.
Both are same, you could say.
Yeah, just be wary of the angles. There's no point if it's a mid shot and I'm telling you, oh, what a fantastic delivery it is, because my hands are somewhere down there compared to, oh, what a fantastic delivery it is.
Right.
Fantastic delivery. So
Correct.
just be wary of that. That's what camera does to you.
That's right. Very well said. Now, you are also on the social media, man, so you must be having a lot of fan followings. What will be your message to those people?
Suresh, you've been very kind. So, no, my message to everybody, and I'm glad I don't call my fans, I call them family, because they're very few, right? You could say that. No, I'm humbled by each and every person who supported me so far. And people talk about how self-made you are, etc. But when you zoom out a little bit and see, there's nothing called being self-made. You're helped along the way by so many wonderful people who chose to believe in you and your vision as much as you did. So that's been my story so far. So for all of them, thank you so much, and they keep driving me to be better every single day, and they keep me on my toes all the time. So much so that if I take a break, I know that it's well earned. Otherwise, I'm trying to give them as much as possible, something new, something different, something exciting. So that process is ongoing because of the feedback that you get from your fans. There are lots of lovely messages, especially from Nepal. When you go to Nepal, there are wonderful messages that start as soon as you land there. Welcome back to Nepal. We can't wait to have you on mic. So things like that motivates you that, okay, there are people listening. So yeah, Nepal is one such country, Australia is another. So my message to them is thank you so much for finding value in my work, and I promise you that I'll keep working hard to bring you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for all that.
You're very, very generous and kind in your speeches. Very generous and very kind, very considerate.
What I've received.
Maybe that way you are. Now, there is people, there are younger generation. Though you're young in yourself, but there are somebody who wants to watch you and watching people. They want to take up this sports presentation or a hosting or a comparing, anchoring. Is there any message for you? What is your take on that? What they should do, what they should not do?
There is, I myself have been in that place. When you're starting out something and you realize what's the path, there is no straight path to getting bigger, better, etc. in this industry is what I feel. So my 2 cents to anybody starting out who's enamored by this is, ask yourself this question: are you in it for the money, or are you in it for the fame? Are you in it for the love for the sport? If your answer is the third bit, then pursue it. Everything else will follow. It'll fall in place as well. But trust me, it's a love for the sport that will keep you going after a point of time as well. And cricket teaches you something. Cricket especially, it teaches you that you will have more heartbreaks than triumphs. So sport, it's something similar. There'll be a lot of no's, there'll be a lot of rejections, but if you trust yourself and keep working hard, look for people who give you constructive criticism, then trust me, you will improve yourself, and there will be that one yes, and that one yes is all that you need to use that as a springboard to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So keep believing in yourself, keep reading, keep following the game, which is becoming a lot more these days. So yeah, set your alarm, follow your game, and yeah, be absolutely in love with it. Because trust me, the sport will also reward you if you do that.
Correct. Very well said. Couple of words like hard work and prove yourself and prepare yourself. All those things very fantastically. Then second thing which comes to my mind is when you are a presenter, apart from speaking on the mic, do you have any other passion like reading or traveling or any other? What do you do? How do you pass your time when you don't have any assignments?
Oh, I love singing. So before I was a commentator, I was a singer.
Singing. Oh
So
my
that sort of, yeah, that and singing actually helped me develop my voice culture.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me face an audience first. And solo singing made me understand the importance of having control and the carte blanche, because you improvise even when you're on stage.
Oh,
And all those things helped me in commentary. Whereas the group singing allowed me to understand the importance of teamwork, and how to prepare and how to execute in a manner that everybody is on the same page. They'll have their own personal aspirations, but you need to reconcile that for the bigger goal. All these things I learned from singing.
fantastic.
So singing is something that I still do sometimes.
Yeah. So can we have one
Not
or
at
two
a level in
lines?
which,
Can we have one or two
sorry,
lines now? Any one which would you like to preferable?
Suresh is a hardcore Marathi. I'll sing a couple of lines for you. I've never done this in any of the
Okay.
interviews. I'm a little embarrassed already, but I'll sing a couple of lines for you for
Yeah.
sure.
Just one or two lines.
I love Marathi abangs.
Marathi, no problem. Yeah, yeah.
The way they are very peppy. And I learned Carnatic music and then Western classical as well later on.
Okay.
But Carnatic music, Marathi abangs. I'll sing the two lines. You have to tell us the meaning.
Okay.
Okay with it?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
करी प्रेमे माथलासी उभा केले विठ्ठलासी करी प्रेमे माथलासी उभा केले विठ्ठलासी 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 करी प्रेमे माथलासी उभा केले विठ्ठलासी.
Wow. Great. विठू रखुमाईच अभंग गायले तुम्ही.
Oh, meaning काय आहे?
Fantastic. I told you, you have got a good voice culture. Should continue that. Anyway.
Thank you, sir.
So,
I think I should resort to a little more singing. What is the meaning of this? You have to tell the audience the meaning. That's the promise.
Which one?
Kari preme mathalasi.
First one. Vittalasi means it is about for the Vittala.
Yeah,
For the
absolutely.
Vittala. Ubhe khele Vittalasi.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Well done. And Kari preme mathalasi means if you want to love like a mother.
Mother, yeah.
And if you want to Ubha kele Vittalasi, if you want to stand like Vittala.
Kar katevari ghevane ubha Vittala.
It's
He's
a beautiful line.
keeping his hands on the hips and then standing there at the door.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. Right. So nice. Wow.
So that's the thing. The song goes on.
Fantastic.
Like that. Exactly the way that you mentioned.
Fantastic. Good. Thanks for your time actually, and it was a nice interaction with you over more than 30-40 minutes, and then we got to know a lot of
fun
things.
actually.
And
this is a lovely conversation with a little bit of singing involved. It's something that I was not prepared for already.
Fantastic. And we wish on our channel side as well as my personal side all the best in your life. You prosper and bring name to the country as well as yourself and your family, and do many assignments come to you. I know that you will be busy in the next couple of months, but I don't want to go into that more detail. But still, you will be always, we would like to hear you more on television as well as on the radio as well as any sporting arena. We would be always love to hear you, and we wish you all the best in your life. Prosper and bring laurels to the country and you yourself. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so
Take
much,
care,
Suresh.
Suhaas.
And I just want to take 20 more seconds. Thanks to Chayan for making this happen, and thanks to you as well for taking the time out. It was an absolute pleasure to be on C Nation Pod Talk, and I can't wait to be back as well whenever you call me, because it's absolutely fantastic to be here, and the kind of conversations that we had were so good to have in the first place. And promise I will make time, and we will meet next time I am in Mumbai. And yeah, that time
Definitely.
will be the person singing.
If you are in February month, we can definitely have a meet because there is a sporting event coming up.
I'll be in Mumbai on some day of February,
Yeah,
I'll definitely let you know. Thank you
definitely
so
we'll
much
catch
for
up.
having me.
Sure, sure,
See you next
definitely.
podcast.
Welcome. Welcome to Mumbai always. Amchi Mumbai la, yeah.
Uh,
Right.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much.
lot and all the best in your future life. You may get a lot of assignments and laurels and all the appreciations. Bring the proud moment for the country. You put
Thanks
in
so
a lot
much,
of
Sunil.
efforts. Thanks a lot. Take
Pleasure.
care, boss. Take care.